who knows who knows all is here. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening around the world. My name is Doug Brunke. I am the founder and CEO of Global Chamber. I personally believe that my involvement with Global Chamber over the next 10 or 20 years will center around two main regions, India and Africa. I do believe in Africa. I believe in the future. I think there's been a lot of talk about its evolvement and development. And now I think with AFCFTA in place, I think the same kinds of things are happening and will happen that we've seen with NAFTA, then USMCA, and then whatever is the next version of USMCA. Once people start working together across borders, once countries begin to facilitate between the government and universities and private industry uh, around exporting, magic happens. And we saw that over and over and over again in so many countries. I've been fortunate to start my international career in Korea 38 years ago. And I can tell you that 38 years ago, Korea was nothing like what it was today. It was the year before the Olympics of 1988, and it was relatively primitive. And it's come a long, long way with lots of hard work, lots of coordination between the different entities that it takes to grow. And we're seeing exactly that today in Africa, perhaps even more than India. We're seeing it in Africa. So I'm very excited to introduce Komi Klu today as our first speaker. He's our keynote speaker because he's known, he's well trusted, he's traveled all over Africa, he's involved with capital, both in the United States and across Africa. He's knowledgeable about what the opportunities are, and he's trusted. And he knows Joe Biden, and anybody that knows Joe Biden is a friend of mine. Komi Klu, how are you? And we look forward to hearing from you what our plan is to hear, hopefully, maybe however long you'd like to speak, and have some Q&A, and then we'll do a roundtable with everyone else. And so we have about another 50 minutes to be able to pack all of that in, hopefully with lots of opportunity, some realistic challenges explored, and connections made so that we can be more successful in 2026. How has your year been, Comey?
Doc, thank you for that wonderful introduction. My year has been very, very um, busy. I've been, as you know, back
Okay.
and forth between Africa and the US, and business is good overall. For those who are not aware of it, it's not everything that we see on the news about Africa, which is reality. You have to be on the ground to see what is happening. So things are moving despite all the headlines. Things are moving on the ground in Africa. That's overall my assessment. And 2026 will be even more exciting.
Fantastic. Well, looking forward to hearing more about your perspectives. Where do you think we should be looking? What, as you mentioned, you kind of allude to, if you're outside of Africa, or even if I presume you're in one area of Africa, it's hard to see the whole. You travel all over. What should we be looking at for 2026 for ourselves and our businesses?
2026, we should be looking at mostly food production, meaning agro processing and energy. Of course, with technology, we also have Africa has been like at the forefront of fintech and financial technology innovation. That is not known by a lot of people. But with technology, there are a lot of things that are happening in the areas of fintech and technological leapfrogging in every any other areas. African businesses have been adopting faster than I could have predicted the AI revolution, So it is good. But overall, what I'm seeing happening on the continent is Africa is moving from natural resources to human resources. We are starting to develop our human capital. Something that I guess became aware of a few weeks ago is giant um, uh, um, technology companies like Amazon are using African resources based in Africa as their development center, like DevOps and back office support. This is something that 5 years ago nobody could have thought that will ever happen, but it is happening today. So overall, Africa is moving from natural resources to human resources development.
And that prevents then opportunities for us in those areas. Thank you very much. Where are the country of focus when you think about your own business and the activities that you're involved with? Which countries are you going to be focused in on over the next 6 months, 12 months?
Yeah, that's a good question. We usually, like my firm, Emerging Market Investment Group, which is headquartered in Ghana, we usually publish the top 12 or top 10 investment destinations in Africa. Um, and for 2026, at top of the list, we have Mauritius because they are very stable company and financial services are doing well there. Um, Believe it or not, we have South Africa, and I'll talk about South Africa later. They have a lot of challenges in the areas of energy, but that present opportunities also. It's a mature market, but financial and technology sectors are also booming in South Africa. But there's a project that is near and dear to my heart, in which I'm really involved in. I'll talk about that if I have the chance. Is the production of cassava starch. The cassava starch business is a 66 billion, B, not with million, $66 billion market is projected to be $16 billion market in 2026. So there's a lot of opportunity in that area. But third, I have Morocco. Morocco, they are very aggressive. They a stable country in Northern Africa. They have created something called Casablanca Finance City. So they are very, very aggressive. And what they are doing is they are leveraging the FTSC, the FTSCA factor as they are integrating the financial sector in Africa. There's a lot of financial groups based in Morocco that are buying or investing in regional financial institutions across Africa. Then we have Ghana, of course. Ghana, stable country. They have a lot of natural resources, but Ghana is investing and betting on agriculture and digital revolution. Um, we cannot talk about Africa without talking about Nigeria, the biggest market. Nigeria has its own challenges, security-wise, and 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 infrastructure challenges, but overall, Nigeria remains a very attractive and competitive market. Kenya is there. It has had its challenges in 2025, but it has a lot of opportunities also. Last but not least, referring to the Francophone giants. The Francophone giants in West Africa are Senegal and Ivory Coast. They offer a lot of opportunities in the areas of oil, energy development, and believe it or not, technology. Senegal has a very booming offshore business that supports a lot of businesses from across the continent. So that's my short list for now, but the full list will be published, if not before, or at least no later than the first week of January 2026.
Where will it be published? How will we get a hold of that?
I usually publish that on our website, but we'll send you a preview before we publish it on our websites.
Okay. Nima, do you have the ability to talk right now and to add to what Komi mentioned about opportunities, perhaps in Tanzania or around Tanzania? I know in our last meeting you were talking about some of the opportunities within the region. Do you have any reaction to what Komi talked about relative to focus areas country-wise?
Thank you so much, Doug. And I think I would agree with Komi with what he said, but I'll add a bit. When we look at Africa in 2025, you could see Africa is no longer a continent of promises. It's a continent of systems. We've seen a lot of trade frameworks, financing institutions, and regional integrations are aligning. The opportunity today is not about discovering Africa, but about positioning within Africa. I would say three major shifts that define Africa in 2025 for me is that I've seen AFCFTA moved from policy to practice, reducing market fragmentation and creating scale. Would see Afreximbank expanded trade finance and payment systems, addressing Africa's biggest constraint, access to market, when we see that PASS is about to function. And this is what I'm looking forward to it in 2026, where we're going to see if really Africa is going to be able to trade in volumes. So AFDB is crowding in private investors, de-risking infrastructure, energy, and industrial projects. So I would say Africa is no longer negotiating ambition, it is implementing structure. Where opportunities are, I'd say regional manufacturing and value chains. We're seeing that now Africa is waking up. A lot of African countries now, especially in mining industry, which was far behind just exporting raw materials, but we're seeing it changing to processing and having they are campaigning to have value chain and processing centers. Also, I'd agree with Komi about agribusiness and agro processing, value addition in food, spices, herbs, and a lot more. Strong entry points for women and youth-led enterprises. Also, we cannot talk about Africa without talking about infrastructure and green energy, logistics corridors, storage, ports, renewable energy aligned with climate finance. Then there is digital trade and fintech. You see cross-border payments as logistic tech, e-commerce is taking up a lot in Africa right now. Integration of disruption. We are also seeing service trade in healthcare, pharmaceuticals. We are seeing a lot of deals being made this year around pharmaceuticals in Africa, logistics, tourism, quiet but very high growth sectors. We can see risk in real but manageable. 2025 has reminded that political transactions matter, including Tanzania in the October 29th elections. We have seen that right now there's a lot of investors and European Union backing out. But the question is Tanzania still a place where you can consider investing? I'd say yes. It's still a place when you invest smartly with locals, It was, I think, in a lot of African countries now we can see a lot of protests, but we can see the Gen Zs are coming up, demanding a lot of things. So there's a lot to be done in the area of um, uh, employment and also career to help the youth to take in the entrepreneur direction. What I'm looking at in 2026 and what I see is that um, what to watch is that AFCFTA actual trade flows, not just agreements, cross-border rules of origin, compliance in real transactions, which means faster custom, harmonized standards, and mutual recognitions. Opportunities for investors is who enter early into implementation markets will benefit before systems fully mature. So there's an opportunity now for investors. And my other thing is trade finance and payment system at scale. Um, um, Fintech, there's an opportunity in fintechs, banks, logistics, and exporters position around payments and working capital with scale factors. There's also an opportunity in processing, packaging, assembly, and logistics, not raw exports. There's also an opportunity in energy sector, energy projects that support industry and trade, not just in households. Also, women and youth-led agribusiness scaling into regional exporters. Um, so we are also seeing that there a rise of deal-oriented uh, platforms, B2B matching, B2G, G2G. So this is an opportunity also to introduce Daraja Africa Connect 2026 that is focused in bankable deals and not just speeches. And this will happen in Namibia next year. Just stay tuned. We are going to talk. We are going to send out, and we are welcoming everyone. This is what I have to share, Doc. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nima. Do you have a framework yet of the time frame for the Namibia event?
I'm still waiting for the government to reply, but we have asked for May, so we're waiting for them to reply if May is okay
Okay.
for
Very
them. Yeah.
You're at the Global Chamber Africa Cross Metro Meetup that we do monthly, and this one is our last of the year here in December. The goal is to talk about opportunities. Certainly, challenges are part of the mix. Be connected. I encourage you to make sure that your first name and your last name and your company affiliation are visible to others here with your Zoom name. And also, if you're a member of Global Chamber, put a star, an asterisk next to your name so we can identify you and you stand out in a good way, as you do every day as part of Global Chamber. If anyone has a question, and we have about 35 minutes left, please raise your hand, or you could always slip in, unmute and get a question in, but probably the most orderly way to do that would be by raising your hand. Nima, are you available to be on camera so that we can kind of post you up and spotlight you? Because otherwise we're not able to do that. Oh, beautiful. Thank you very much. So we'll spotlight you for everyone as we will with Mr. Komi. Komi, what's your reaction to what Nima talked about?
Yeah, Doc, Nima, wonderful presentation. You nailed it. Two things that I would like to add to what you said. Uh, um, Africa is doing a lot of value addition, but it is like uh, not known. It is like the best kept secret. In the areas of mining, for instance, you touched on it. African countries, some of them are studying and investing heavily in gold and natural resources uh, refinery. We know the example of Botswana, where they are processing their own diamond, but countries like Ghana, they have oil, they have gold refinery. Rwanda has a gold refinery, but we're not going to talk about that here. But they do have a gold refinery. Burkina Faso has a gold refinery. So a lot of African countries, rather than exporting the raw material, they are changing the name of the game. They are starting to build some solid infrastructure for value addition, which will help them also obtain a hard currency, which is like they can sell their refined gold in dollar and in euro. Another thing that is very important for anybody looking at investing in Africa, what I recommend is first of all you need to do your homework. That's where our company comes in. We do a lot of investment due diligence just to make sure that we clear the path, make sure that you don't waste your money investing in any dubious business. But additionally, equally important is the strategy we recommend to people is to partner. Partnership is the best way to get into Africa. If you find a local company which is a very reputable, established a company, then partnering with them to start your African journey will be the right approach. So Nima, you said all the right thing, but I just wanted to echo what you have said.
Beautiful, thank you. Nima is based in Dar es Salaam and covers Global Chamber Tanzania. And Komi is our advisory board chair in Accra, Ghana, working with Ruby Golo. And he is based both in Africa and in the first state, Delaware, USA. Thank you. I'm going to pull in a few other folks from around the continent, and Komi and Nima, if you could stay on, and we'll be coming back to you in a moment. Let's go to Kenya, and we've got Cliff Mboya and Brandon Matuki. Cliff is in Nairobi. Brandon is in Mombasa. Gentlemen, do you have anything to add regarding opportunities that you see in Kenya and East Africa and the rest of Africa? Brandon or Cliff, are you there? And I think I lost Cliff. Let's see. I don't see Cliff anymore.
Good evening.
Hello, Brandon. How are you? So we might have a bad connection with Cliff, but Brandon is in Mombasa and had just a really great board meeting the other day. Thank you for that. And I will be calling on Mohammed, you next as well from Northern Africa. Please go ahead, Brandon. What are some of the things that reacting to some of what you've heard and anything else you'd like to add, please?
Thank you so much, Doug, for the opportunity. Just to echo what Tanzania, I think the dynamics are almost the same, similar. Here in Kenya, what we are seeing are more a movement towards more exporting and youth entrepreneurship. And actually today I didn't look to speak much. I think I have a lot of representation from my region. I wanted to spare some time so that they can introduce themselves and what they are doing.
Fantastic. Anyone you'd like to introduce?
I will let them, with your permission, I will let them just take up. If you're coming from my region, from Mombasa, please introduce yourself. And then we can move when Cliff comes on board, and then you can introduce the team from Nairobi. I will begin with Hasnain, who is part of the board members. If you are available, please take over.
It looks like he is. Good afternoon.
You are still on mute. You're still on mute.
Yep. Good afternoon. Please go ahead.
Okay, good evening from Mombasa, Kenya.
Good evening.
My name is Astain. My name is Astain Megji. I've just come on board the advisory uh, panel for Mombasa chapter. I'm really excited. My main business line is in insurance in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. We also have another company working out of the UAE, whereby we do corporate setups in the UAE. But I think what earlier speaker said about Tanzania, Kenya is on the same lines as Tanzania in terms of logistics, in terms of mining. Also, I would like to add tourism is a big part of our sector here in Kenya, and the export of tea, avocados, and coffees. So, as also the keynote speaker said, the main opportunities here are partnerships. So we can connect companies with local companies to represent them and to work together. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. Looking forward to working with you. Thank you for being part of Global Chamber. While we're waiting for others to step forward from Kenya, let's see. A couple people have dropped off, so let's see. Oh no, there she is. Jessica Ajba Schneider. Thank you for joining today. You are growing your business in Africa, and so while we're continuing to go around the room, are you available to introduce yourself and let us know more about what you're involved with there and maybe ways that we can help?
Yes, so hello, nice to meet you all. We are a chemical distributor is trading based in Ras Al Khaimah, UAE, and we have become the sole representative of a petrochemical producer.
By the way, Jessica, are you able to show your camera?
Yes, of course. Sorry, I thought it was on.
No worries.
Yes, can you see me?
Yes, we can. That's much better. Thank you.
Good. Nice to meet you all. Yes, we are looking to enter the African market as we have become the sole representative of this chemical producer. And the industries we are interested in are the pharma industry, food and beverages industry, and cosmetics industry. And for now, I haven't been successful in entering the African market. We were more focused on South Africa, Kenya, and Nigeria. However, until now, with no success. I mean, it is very difficult, which I understand. I grew up in Egypt, and I know how difficult it can be to enter such markets, but without being present. So this is why I had joined the Global Chamber, because I was hoping that I could get introductions or help on how to enter the different markets.
Where do you see the biggest opportunities? I'm sorry, but where do you see the biggest and best opportunities for you?
Where, you mean which countries?
Yeah, which chemicals, which countries, which markets, anything else to give us an indication of where the best ones are?
So the countries the most interesting for us are South Africa, Kenya, and Nigeria, with the industries being pharma industry, so pharma producers, food and beverages, and cosmetics. However, since I have had no luck so far with reaching anyone relevant, we are even open to talk to other chemical distributors who have boots on the ground and who could help us reach out to those players.
Wonderful. If anybody has any ideas, feel free to either unmute yourself and say hi or send a message globally or directly to Jessica, and we'll go from there. I see, Jessica, if you could hang on, I see Mohammed is here from Djibouti, and we mentioned tourism earlier, and he's been very involved with tourism and hospitality. Mohammed, are you able to speak and tell us a little bit about your perspectives from Djibouti. With all the port action, there's probably something that could be interesting. Mohammed, are you there? Did we lose you? We might have lost them. But if you can hear us, please feel free to jump back in. Donna Smiley is with Global Chamber Atlanta, and she's involved not just with commercial real estate, but she's involved around the world with India, with Africa, and with a variety
I
of
do.
business connections. Oh, Mohammed, you came back. How are you?
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
Hi.
Are you able to show your face with your camera?
Uh,
Where
I am,
are you today?
yeah, very good. I am trying to open the camera.
That would be great. And otherwise, what would you like to share from Djibouti, please? Yay. Oh, now you're on mute, but
Oh, it's okay?
perfect. You're driving,
Uh,
and that's
Yeah,
great.
I am in the car.
But what's your perspective on what you've heard and anything else you'd like to add?
Yes, yes, yes. I think right now in 2000, at the end of 2025, Africa is the place to be. And now so many things, so many sectors, they are very growing. And in Djibouti, we invest a lot in importing and logistics since 40 years now. But our government tried to diversify the economy, and we have also huge potential in tourism sector. And since 20 years now, we have more hotels and attraction place. But I think Djibouti is very, very land of opportunity like Africa. And you know, I travel in Africa's maybe 45 countries. I already visited in Africa. And I think opportunities are everywhere. But I agree, Komi, because when I see partnership, when investment, people coming in Africa and they want to invest, is the successful way to do that is to be partner local people, because the culture, the way to do the business is everything is about relationship, you know. And I saw so many projects coming in Africa but fails. And so the best case is to be partner with local people. And right now, since 2000 January 2025, I was elected in the Chamber of Commerce here as like first Secretary General. And we Djibouti also we are the no we have the president of African Union in Addis is our previous Minister of Foreign Affairs. So many events come in Djibouti, and last week we host the first meeting of private sector of Africa. So I think everything is good, and I think is the right moment to act and to do so. Opportunities are everywhere. I can say that. And now I am interested in business, in tourism, in agro business also, and of course logistic important things, because Djibouti represent the gate for East Africa countries, like Mombasa, like Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. So we do the same. I
Wonderful.
can say that.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Komi, I wonder, given what Jessica mentioned and what Mohammed just talked about in terms of doing business and having relationships be a guide. You yourself have traveled all over Africa. You've developed relationships everywhere. Any suggestions of how that might be changing in Africa, or of wisdom that you can share with Jessica in terms of her approach to the market with chemical distribution?
Yeah, it's a good question because as far as doing business in Africa is concerned, you need to either be on the ground, find somebody, shake their hand, and visit their place of business or operation before you engage in anything. Because there are a lot of there are some untrustworthy people that operate out of the continent. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So be careful if you find anybody on the internet say, "Oh, I do this, I do that," unless you have somebody, a trusted partner on the ground who can verify their claim. It might be dangerous for you to do that. But yeah, we do have people. I personally stopped dealing in oil and energy, but I do have people in that field, and I would like to have Jessica's contact number, and then we can have a call, and I can point her to the right place on the
Yes,
continent.
that
Yeah,
would be very helpful.
Well,
yeah.
I have a question for you, Jessica. Are you based in the United States?
No, UAE.
UAE.
Okay. And is your company, so you're personally based in UAE. Where's your
The company
company,
is based in UAE.
or where are you originally from?
Cairo, Egypt.
Okay. Have you at all asked the commercial section of the Egypt embassy in Dubai or Abu Dhabi for assistance?
No, I've asked the Chamber of Commerce of Ras Al Khaimah, where our office is based,
Hmm.
but with little to no help,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Thank you, Eric. Do you want to give just a quick update on you? I know you've had a real hard time here the last few months. Sorry.
Oh yeah, thank you for the being here. And it should end. I'm driving to South Georgia on Wednesday to funeralize him on Saturday, but or Friday. Thank you for recognizing that, Doug. My name is Eric Henderson. I actually have several hundred employees across 47 African countries. I'm formerly with the World Bank, and before that, I was with the United States Commercial Service. So we have multiple offices in many countries around the world, almost 78 countries. And I've done business in 154 finance projects all over the place. But as it relates to helping chemical companies expand, uh, we've had 7 successful expansions of U.S. and French and German chemical companies, and one Zimbabwean chemical company that we expanded into the U.S. and Europe called Sable Chemicals. So it's not super complicated brain surgery. When you're talking about the distribution of products, I don't know that I agree that you need partners to do distribution. As a matter of clarification of language, in international trade, you have 2 separate and distinct entities. You have agents and you have distributors. An agent facilitates sales and earns a commission. A distributor buys a product at a price, marks it up, and resells it for whatever the market will bear. So the first thing, Jessica, is, in my opinion, is to identify uh, potential agents, salespeople that are loyal and dedicated to you and your firm only, and to come up with a compensation schedule that makes it compelling for them. You do not have to be a sectoral or industry expert to sell chemicals or diapers or condoms or feminine napkins or shoes or boots. You don't. Um, in fact, when I was at the U.S. Commercial Service, we were all generalists. We might cover a certain sector, but we did what we call getting smart on something. So when a company brings their product or their service, we have to learn about it. Um,
Okay.
so so
We do we only have about 15 minutes, so we do need to keep moving around the
Sure.
room. Thank you, Eric. So
No problem.
sorry. And when are you going to be in Georgia?
Friday.
Okay. Donna Smiley is in Georgia, and she's definitely someone that you should know. Donna, thank you for being here. Let's see, who else has something that they would like to add to the conversation, given that we've only got about 15 minutes? I was thinking when you mentioned, Eric, about rocket science and rocket science related to distribution, I actually was thinking of Shalom Bako. Shalom Bako is in the room. He is a rocket scientist and a soccer player, and he's been able to develop exporting businesses and ship to the United States and around the world hibiscus and other products. And so every morning when I drink my, let's see, my LaCroix hibiscus water, I think of you, Shalom. Thank you for making the best hibiscus in the world in Nigeria.
To my resume. But yeah,
how
always
are
good
you?
to be here. Grateful,
Hello.
blessed, and grateful, and yeah, it's glad to join the meetup today, and always happy to have conversations around Africa. And I think you've already said it, into the international trade from the continent to primarily North and South America along the agro-allied supply chain. So happy to be here and add value wherever I can. Thank you, Doug.
Fantastic. What have you got focused in on for 2026? What's on your radar?
2025, 2024 has been an interesting year of a lot of transitions and growth and growing pains. But I'm currently in Atlanta. So Eric, if you have some time, I know it's a personal difficult time, but if you have some time, would love to show you around at least one of our warehouses. But for 2026, I really want to go back to kind of the basics of what got me here, adding value in many ways, adding value as part of this community, and you know,
We might have lost you, Shalom. But thank you very much for sharing. Shalom's one of the things we last talked about with Shalom was, in addition to his knowledge about superfoods, starting with hibiscus and then migrating to superfoods, he also has an expertise in logistics. And I know he was building out some logistics activities in Kenya and across the continent. And so if logistics is of interest to you, in food and beverage and in ag, Shalom is a great contact. Komi, I'd like to come back to you, and I also would like to encourage anyone, if you have any last comments or questions, please to move forward. We have about 10 minutes left. Komi, are there other things that you would like to leave us with before we finish our time here today? Anything you've heard that resonates?
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share?
Yes. How are you, Tim?
Somebody's talking.
Oh,
Yes.
I
Okay.
see it. There's actually, there are a couple people. Let's see who might be talking. I'm not sure, but let's go to Nima. Nima, you have your hands up, and then we'll go to Queen Mother Nina. Nima,
Hello.
and Donna as well. Oh, three ladies, three
How are
powerhouses.
you? Good evening.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something about AGOA Extension Act. We have just seen today that the House of Representatives and Senate, the House of Committee, U.S. House of Committees has signed, has passed the act, extension of AGOA for 3 years, and if passed by the full House of Representatives and Senate, then signed by the President, this extension will grow. Africa will grow, and in additional 3 years, until December 31st, 2028, promoting trade and investment between the US and Sub-Saharan Africa. And to Tanzania, we see that AGOA provides unmatched export market for industrial value addition. Goods sustained more than 10,000 direct jobs and promotes economic diversification. So I'm really excited to see what the extension of our agreement has been, I think, the discussion for a very long time. People were, Africans were, discussing it, that what will happen with what is happening now in the US, but we see this as hope for Africa. And my last thing that I want to leave to everyone today about 2026, I think is 2026 is the year of Africa, proves that integration works, not on paper, but in profits, productivity, and partnership. And I agree that partnerships work. There are different ways when you want to come to invest or you want to do something in Africa. I think partnership is the key. It depends with what you're doing. Not everything goes with partnerships, but we see partnership is key. So thank you everyone for making Africa grow and what you have been doing, in everyone here in Africa or around the world. Thank you, Global Chamber, for giving us hope, connecting with different people, and growing and giving us a platform to rewrite a story about Africa and what is happening. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Merry
much.
Christmas and Happy New Year if we won't meet.
Merry Christmas. We actually only have about 2 minutes left, but we'll extend it by maybe a couple more, so 3 or 4 minutes. And so I'm going to call on a few people just for 1 minute each. Please don't go over 1 minute. Moses, you first. 1 minute. What have you got?
Sorry, I was working to get my mic on. Thank you very much, Doug, and thanks everyone. A lot has been said. I fully agree with everything that's been said, and I know the challenges of partnering and finding the right agents. All those are typically ingrained in our African culture, and that's one thing that we need to work on. But I come from a very different angle. I'm on the aviation side, and essentially, I'm not saying I'm at 40,000-foot level, but when I look at the skies of Africa, over Africa at night, it's very, very impressive and telling. Okay, and you can try it. Go to Flight Radar or something like that, and just look at Africa from the top, and you'll be very, very amazed compared to Europe or the USA. So that's where I start from. And when I look at that map, when I look at that view, I say the dark zones is where we need to be. We're talking about the AFCTA. We're looking at open skies. But to me, trade will also come by connecting people, connecting regions. So focusing on that interconnectivity is where I come in. Looking at investing in people, as Komi clearly said in the very beginning, is one thing that's going to be key going forward. And so in aviation, just for example, we're looking at training 60,000 professionals that are needed for that interconnectivity that I just talked about. That's where I come in. We've started working with some local partners, regional partners in Eastern Africa, building up some small-scale academies where we can get aviation awareness right into the grassroots, right into the villages, and build that up into a pathway to these professional careers that we need to grow Africa. So I'm all in, but as I said once again, we have to invest in the people as we look at infrastructure, policy reform, and the expansion of our airlines and fleet renewals. So people is where I'm focused on, and I'm working with our teams out in Mombasa and in Nairobi to try and grow that in the Eastern African region. Is that a minute, Doug?
It's a little bit over a minute, but
oh, come on.
but we're going to show grace. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, Moses has been not just an original member of Global Chamber, but prior to Global Chamber being formed, he was involved with the activities that I've been part of. So thank you for your longtime support and collaboration. Unfortunately, we did run out of time, and so there's a couple ladies that have their hands raised. If you could send me in information and what you have, I'll make sure that that gets out in the post in terms of what you've got. I'd like to have the final minute or two with Komi Klu, also a longtime member of Global Chamber, longtime supporter, a leader. He is the advisory board chair for Global Chamber Accra. I think you've seen today that his knowledge and experience, not just in Ghana, but across Africa, is significant and important. Komi, what final comments do you have?
What I can say is, do not believe the noise that you hear about Africa. Africa is open for business. You need to come and see for yourself. That's all. 2026 is going to be another great year for Africa.
So 2026, AI in your business, it better be there, and Africa in your business, and jump in. And Komi, when will you be there, and when can we meet you in Ghana?
January 15.
Very good. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you all for your support of this meeting. If you have any questions or comments, please send them to me, doug@globalchamber.org. I'd like to thank Mila, who is our administrator for events and making sure that this meeting has run well. Thank you all for participating, and if you have any questions or comments, we'd love to learn. We actually have 3 words that will be guiding us in 2026: listen, learn, and community. And there's nothing more important than community, a trusted community. So I encourage you to participate in Global Chamber. If you're able to join, we appreciate that. Give your time or your talent and treasury to people who are professional and ethical and honest. And that's the way business gets done. By doing business, we help ourselves and we help the world, because the world and people around the world recognize that we're the same, that we're the global tribe, and we just need to help and support each other. Reach out, grab someone's hand, help them up, and let's move forward together. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you, Doug.
All right, bye-bye. Have a great day.
Really appreciate it, Komi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. And so sorry we didn't get to all the questions that we had. So feel free to reach out in another way. Thanks, Mila. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Doug. Duxon, bye.
Oh, who was that?
That's Moses.
Oh, okay. Moses. Stay warm.
I will, thank you. It's warming up. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Very good. Happy holidays, everybody.
Okay, have a great one, Doug. This was very informative and well represented.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Brandon, for your leadership. Really appreciate you.